Well guys, it seems that I am missing my driver's seat in my truck, and that's for good reason. I took out my front seat of my truck to be able to change out the front driver's cushion. Mine has been dead for some time. It's been long overdue. So without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you exactly what I'm doing to be able to replace my seat cushion and be able to help you if you are going to be doing the same to your truck. We'll go ahead and get right into it. All right, so the very first thing you're gonna need to do, obviously I've already taken out my chair, but the first thing you're gonna need to do is to be able to unbolt the 4 bolts you have holding your chair to the floor of the ground. Again, I have a Ram 3500 2012 ST model. On this model, essentially what there is a 15 right here, a 15 right here, the other bolt's right here for that. Then there's an 18 right there, and another 18 right there. Also, this harness, it was very easy to just unlatch that, pressing the little release buttons in the back here for each little one here. This one I did because it's not connected, because it doesn't have any special heating, cooling, anything fancy like that. This just I had to pull off of the actual frame, and so this just sits here. Obviously, this would be a great time to actually start, cleaning out your truck. I was able to pull out the chair fairly easily, just by myself here, and being able to get that into the garage to where I can do the actual work getting the seat cushion replaced. I first wanted to start off by sharing with you what I actually found when I did pull off the actual cloth cover from this old cushion. Obviously you can see this cushion is deader than dead. It is ready to be thrown away. What I found were these metal rods, pretty thick rods that are pretty sturdy, that were down in the crevice here. Down there, one was down in here, this little smaller one, and then this other one was down here as well. And basically what it does is it's so integrated to the cushion that it's able to secure this rod and the actual cushion, all 3 of these put together, secure it to the actual cloth. And how it does it is those rods link up with this rod that's also on it, on the actual cloth here. And this is a plastic, essentially, rod, kind of flexible, a little bit more than before. And what you're able to do when you first get it, let me show you here. What came on mine from just the factory were these little, I don't know what they're called, I'm sure there's a name for them, but essentially circular little things to be able to secure this to the actual cushion from that rod side. So as you see, there's a hole here, there's a hole there, one in the center, and then there's 2 more over here. And so basically down in the cracks, you can see there's a little rod poking out there. There's a rod, let me pull this back out. It fell down in there, rod there, boom, boom, boom. So there's 5 different actual places where the actual rod will connect using these little things where I had to bend them off to be able to get this loosened up to take this off. So essentially, I don't have any more of these to be able to put these back on, and it would be just an absolute nightmare trying to compress the actual cushion to get down in there, because this is a pretty steep crack down in there. So what my plan is, and what has already worked on the front, as you can see, it's already on there. The only thing that's not on there is just this side. So for my purposes here, I'm using zip ties, and I'm able to get it down underneath there. I'm using a flathead screwdriver to kind of pierce and open that up a little bit. And I'm basically going to be running a zip tie on top of the flathead down underneath, and then coming on the other side. So as I'm pushing it down on this side, I then take the flathead and kind of scoop it up to where it's poking itself up back on this side, and then I'm able to tie this to this hole right here. You can see there. So as soon as I get this tightened up, then essentially I'll just cut the, obviously you don't want the zip tie poking you in the leg or in the rear, so I'm just going to be cutting off the end of the zip tie, making sure that the butt end or whatever of the actual zip tie with the locking mechanism is not, facing up, it's going to be to the side or maybe down below, and just going along this whole row to be able to get that secured. So that's kind of the last step. This is new territory for me, to be honest. So I'm kind of learning as I'm going here. There's some decent videos on YouTube. Maybe I'll link a few in the description that helped me to a certain degree. But the real problem was actually getting this whole thing off of this. And I will be kind of going step by step with you to be able to help you with that. I also ran into an issue where, let's see if I can show this, where my actual seat is actually cracked down here. So the cushion doesn't really work on the outside here, and it doesn't really work on this outside here. It's just to the center, and it's cracking here as well as here. So this thing doesn't have much longer of a life. It was incredibly dirty, as you can see down in there. I'm going to be vacuuming and cleaning things up quite a bit. This piece right here, I cannot find it currently online at all. So that's troublesome. So I'm going to have to put my brand new cushion back in with this problematic issue with this seat. But basically what happens is, once this is going to be put back together, there are, let's see here, on every corner there's these little lips, and these kind of tuck in and then snap into place along the edges or along the trim. And so there's one here, there's one on the side here, as you can see. There's little loops where things can get secured here on the side as well. This would be where your seatbelt goes through on the side, and then also on the back here, it's able to snap in on the back. So basically, this is going to sit on top of this whole thing. It's going to be able to latch on the bottom from the sides here, and then in the front, and be able to kind of snap into place so that it's secure. And the biggest problem that I had when I was doing this was fighting with this handle. This handle, I didn't realize if it was a screw or a bolt or what really goes on. Again, I'm touching the left side of the actual seat. So this is where the door is. And so this handle right here has grooves to be able to match up perfectly with where it's at. I didn't realize that. I couldn't figure that out. It's hooked up to the whole spring system here to be able to release it. And so that was a big problem for me, getting this off. And of course, there's the actual, this might make a little bit more sense now that you see this. Everything in place. There's a few screws on the sides here to secure it, but this is essentially what it's going to look like right there. Perfect. And it just kind of goes right into place. It's not going to fit any other direction. It's going to go one way, and that's it. So essentially, you've got the 4 bolts, 2 15s, 2 18s, and then you've just got one right here that's a Phillips. So basically, you take this handle off, and then you're able to snap. Actually, here we go. You can see on this inside, this inner little area right here, you can see it's able to be snapped out. I can't do it because I've just got one hand right now, but this whole assembly right here can be pulled off, and you're able to get through. If this centerpiece was off, you're able to get through to the actual screw that's holding the assembly. This piece right here, right there, holding it to this right here on there. So then this whole piece can actually come off to be able to get to where you're supposed to get to release some of these things where the seat kind of overlays the whole thing, and then you're able to get it to snap into place where the cushion part of it. Here we go. Let's see, right here. This little piece right here, and now it's apparently broken, but basically where this basically just gets pulled down, so you don't have a whole bunch of just floating cloth and it just looks ridiculous. It's actually pulled on all 4 corners, all 4 areas, overlaying this, and it's able to be secured. So I'm going to go ahead and get this whole thing pieced together, the rest of it, and then kind of show you what I'm going to do, maybe to get it fully back put on, and then we will get it back into the truck with a lot more cleaning to it. But man, oh man, if you're going to take this seat out, now would be the time to clean this thing up, because oh dear, with a dog in the truck for hundreds of thousands of miles, and dirt, dust, and dog food that spilled, and oh dear, lots of stuff to clean up. So we're gonna knock this out, and I'll catch you in a little bit. All right, guys, so here's the final product on this side. Everything is now secure down the center, as well as the far end right here. But as you can see here, I've got the 5 black zip ties, one right here, one right here, down there, boom, boom, and boom over here. So basically with what I have left of my actual cloth cover here, I'm just going to fold it over and get it turned over, and I may even put a cover on top of this whole thing that's made for this seat to be able to protect this side even more. I don't really want to expose my cover this much, and I'm just folding over the actual cushion to go over it on this side as well. Getting the back all straightened up here. It's supposed to overlay in certain areas as well. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this cushion cleaned up. It's got lots of hair, lots of things to get cleaned up with. And we'll go ahead and get into the actual installation of the cushion back into the actual frame of the actual chair. All right, so the first thing that I did, I do have the cushion sitting on top. Oh dear, when you go back to something you've already gone through, there's been some type of an issue. For myself in this situation, something to watch out so that you don't do what I just did. I thought everything was secure, I thought everything was good, and then I noticed this back part right here of the actual seat was not actually behind this bar, and yet I know there was a divot just perfectly fitting where this bar is, where this is supposed to drop into. And so what I had to do is I had to pull this back towards me to be able to get this to go in the right place, so that when I actually sit down, this will be pushed down. The seat will kind of go over, going this way, obviously going over that bar. So if you didn't do that like I did to begin with, your seat's going to probably feel a little strange. It's going to be a little weird. You're going to feel some type of awkward setup. So just go ahead and make sure that this back is pulled up all the way as much as it can be, so that it's extended to where it's supposed to be, instead of probably smushed more that way. So just make sure this is pulled back enough for that to go into the right position, and then hopefully we'll be good from here on out. Able to pull the little back flap down here, and essentially what you're going to want to do is, with these 2 little metal clips that go over this bar across here, you're going to want to attach this actual clip to those clips. So I'm just going to be pulling it down even further, wrapping it around, and then just simply attaching that across there. And that's the first step. I was able to actually get this secured to it, make sure the sides are folded in or out, make sure that these secure there, and that's the back side. And then we'll kind of work our way around to the front. All right, so what we're looking at on the left side, so this is right, the doors right here, right? So on this side, essentially you're going to want to have this side going around this where the lever is. Now maybe you have the electric fancy controls, maybe it's a little different for you. I'm not exactly sure on that. And then what I do with this side is put it down and then try to, it broke off for me, so this really doesn't do a whole lot honestly for myself, but I'm just getting it out of the way. And then having this able to go like that is what we're going to be looking at there. So having this there, and then the bottom side also has the same clip. And what you're going to do is it doesn't actually clip down, it goes underneath, and then it wraps around, and then it will click in. There we go. It'll click in there. So what we're looking at is it wraps underneath and then clips back this way. for that. So that is securing the left side. We'll have this hole over here is going to help us to be able to get the screw to get the cover back on here on the right side, or I'm sorry, on the left side here, that kind of closes all this off. So we'll kind of get to that in the next step here. All right, so the next step we're gonna do is secure this plastic piece to the left side of the seat, making sure all the clip-ins where that actually snaps in, all up here and then down here as well. I would do that first before you do anything else. Make sure that the cloth has not slipped off where the lever connects here, just as a thought in the process of maneuvering this stuff. And then lastly, what I would do is then have the Phillips screw actually put back in the hole here. Like I said, that is where the actual larger hole is to secure it there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, get this screw in there, and then we'll go ahead and put on the cover and then go from there. All right, now that I've got the screw inside there, I'm gonna go ahead and put the plastic cover here back in. I'm just gonna snap this in. Pretty easy to do that. And then we're gonna go ahead and get the lever again. It only really goes one way, so just kind of feel it as you go. There we go. And yeah, boom. It is secured on there. We're good on the left side. Now let's go to the front side. All right, so as you can see, the driver's side, right side here, still is up quite a bit because we still haven't secured it. So when we get that, it'll be level. But on the front side, all you have to do is this large clip here. You're just gonna fold this underneath and secure this underneath everything that's down here. So we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. There's that. There we go. It's locked into place on the front side. And we've got that all buttoned up there. And then we'll go on to the left side. All right, so the next step is going to be able to secure this bottom clip just like the other side and the front side to the underneath bottom. And you might need to pull it this way just a little bit, like I think I'm gonna need to do that. To get it in the right place. There we go. It is secure there. And then I honestly cannot remember for the life of me where this little loop is supposed to go. I do know that this is supposed to come up and then go through here to be able to secure this to right here. And then what's next after that, or really you should wait to do this until the last step, is to be able to put this cover back on just like you took off. It snaps into place like so. A couple of things right there. I'll go ahead and put the Phillips screw in there. There we go. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh wait, I think I did it accidentally. I think what's supposed to happen is this is supposed to be pulled back around the screw, and well, it still looks a little uneven. Maybe when I sit down, it'll actually kind of even out where it's supposed to be, pushed back a little bit. But then this will just simply come up here. This will hold this up in place so it's not falling in, in between the seats. And then obviously this other one on the center console, at least for my truck, there's another little loop thing like this that'll hold this in place on the other side for the center seat instead of where the console or the armrest would be. So this for now just lays down. We've got this side all put together here. It's buttoned up underneath. It's secured down here. It doesn't look exactly perfect. I think it'll kind of even out a little bit when we actually sit down into the chair, when we get things going. And then the last thing is the back side to button it up, and I'll just go ahead and show that to you now. All right, so I do know that we started out with the back side to begin with, but the problem was you couldn't actually do these steps until you get to the end right now. So basically with these plastic parts right here and here, now you're able to put in the two leftover Phillips screws that you had. So I'll go ahead and put this in. Doesn't have to be crazy tight, it's just plastic holding it in. Let's see here, get this pushed over a little bit. Boom, okay. And then the last thing is going to simply be to fold this down, this back cover, and this is going to go all the way underneath. I would simply just suggest you'll be able to see where they clip onto very easily. It's the actual metal little grid where it's actually holding you the springs essentially, and you'll have to be able to flip this over. I've got dog hair here, I got to clean this up lastly, but you'll be able to hook those up to the bottom side. This is just covering everything, securing that, and we are good to bolt the last 4 bolts, the 2 18s in the rear and then the 2 15s in the front. So I'll go ahead and skip over to that and get it going. Here we go. Just wanted to show you that shot from the side where the back side comes down. I'm just simply latching it on to here and up here to be able to secure the back little flap. All right, so I'm gonna get the 18 millimeters put in there. You can see the 2 holes going down to the concrete driveway. I'm gonna get those put on, and then the front ones, and then we will button up the electrical connectors, and we'll be in business. All right, so clearly as you can still see, I've still got issues with my cover. Eventually I will be replacing this entire seat with an aftermarket chair. Until then, I'll probably just buy a cover to cover this up. The whole seat to make sure it's all good. I went ahead and got the 15 millimeters here and there put on, and we are good to go. I've got it all put together, and it was not as painful as I thought it was going to be. If you are needing to replace your seat, go ahead and check down the link below in the description to get your cushion for your Ram 3500 2012. At least there's multiple different options. I should have a link down there for you to be able to help you get yours replaced. Really was not too bad. Maybe there's some little differences between the models, the trim levels. If you've got the fancy stuff, heating and all that stuff, maybe there could be some differences for that. But honestly, I've put this off for so very, very long. I've had this cushion for quite a while. And the truth is, this took, if I wasn't recording and going through everything and trying to make sure I follow all the steps, it would have taken no time at all. It was not that big of a deal. I don't know why I put it off. It's these small things that I put off that are just like, oh man, I should have done this so long ago. I would have been saving my rear literally for so many more miles and hours sitting here in the truck. So happily I finally got this put on, got it installed, brand new seat. I haven't even sat in it yet, but I'm going to here shortly, and it'll be just Christmas in June. Hopefully this was helped you. If it was, just consider subscribing, hitting the like button if you got good value. These are just some of the things I try to do in my truck as I'm in RV transport. I'm using my truck for a lot of different things for my own home business. I've got another YouTube channel talking about my dumpster rental business. This truck is going to be used for a long time until this thing disintegrates. I got to get every mile, every hour, every inch out of this truck as much as I possibly can. And so it's these little things. This is a small interior upgrade, nothing crazy, but it's something that I've got to have, man. My chair was just killing me. So we'll see how it goes going down the road, and I'll give you an update down the road as well for a video. So hopefully you have a great day today. Stay safe, guys, and God bless.